We
Oh,
back in
we
this
are live,
bitch.
baby. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody and nobody at all. Trademarks Party Chat Podcast. You know what it is. We all back for another little
What episode
Seder
number is this?
Sanctuary.
It's 32?
33.
33?
I'm
See.
officially. I don't even look at episode numbers anymore. I just kind of look at whatever
What's a
one's at the
great number?
top.
33.
What?
Larry Bird wear 33?
Now we're 34.
Uh,
You
Larry
were
Bird?
34?
who were
Oh, I think Larry Bird
33?
wore 33.
Isn't Shaq wear 33?
No. Shaq was
Nah,
32 and 34.
that's right, 32. That's what I'm thinking. Might wear
Who the
34.
fuck wore
Maybe Larry Bird.
33?
Maybe Larry Bird did wear. That's a good fucking trivia question, dude.
Larry Bird did wear number 33 for the Boston Celtics.
There you go.
Mm.
The
Mm-hmm.
Larry Bird
And
app.
Indiana State.
Shout out Larry Bird.
And shout out Larry Bird. Probably
LBZ.
the coldest white boy out there besides, Luka and Serbian, the big Serbian.
As Uncle Ruckus would
Big
say,
Honey,
you
as
know,
Shaq calls him.
he's probably one of the best basketball players of all time.
He ain't better than LeBron. All that fucking
Bird.
notion that those white people try to do say, but he's definitely a great he's definitely a great player for sure.
Uh, well, boys, today was the day. It was that Sunday. You know,
Oh, the ass bowl.
That
It
Seder
was-
Showdown.
it
The
was it
Seder
was
is two sides of the ass cheek.
Hell yeah. Absolute shitball.
And
Whoa.
one team showed up at 1 o'clock in the morning and
proceeded to whoop ass, man.
proceeded to come out and whoop some ass. And another team came out there and proceeded to what they've done all fucking year, be a shit team.
At least
Well-
they put some points on the board this time around.
Yeah,
No,
I
for
mean,
sure,
it ain't.
man.
That's my thing. Like, you go from losing, you get embarrassed on Monday Night Football to then coming out the very next week and losing to a 3-win Raider team. So, like, that just kind of shows you how your season's gone for this year, man.
Shows you.
And
shows
we
you-
didn't just lose. We didn't just lose to a 3-win Raider team. We got dominated by a 3-win Raider team. So it was not
It
pretty.
shows you how
it was
this,
only close
team's
up
built,
until,
man.
like maybe halfway through the first quarter. First quarter, maybe.
like up till halftime, I would say.
Probably like
Halftime, it was what 10-13. We had a chance to
Oh, yeah,
take
it
the lead. I mean,
was.
Spencer threw the ball out of
Mhm.
bounds to try to. And
Mhm.
we took the points to go into halftime. We came out after halftime. They had the ball, so that's why I'm like, it was still competitive up to that point. But then like defense started to play more and more like shit. There was defense just kept giving up drives, and it wasn't like the Raiders were just going down and scoring touchdowns. No, they would hold in the end zone, and you guys would get 3 points, and then offense would come back
Well,
out and go.
I mean, they
3-0
didn't
out.
start scoring them points until after like really until after halftime, man. But
Oh
like
yeah. Hmm.
the real kill in that first half, man, was like sustained drives from the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Like they were piecing together very good drives, dude. Amir Abdullah was like prime Adrian Peterson out there, breaking 3 and 4 tackles, going for 8-yard runs. The
The
first
Saints are just shitty
hundred
tacklers.
first 100-yard rusher of the Raiders season, man. I mean, that's
No, it's just for Amir Abdullah. We've had
was it? I thought
Yeah.
it says for the season.
we've had 100-yard rushers before, but that was Amir Abdullah's first 100-yard game in
In his
100
career,
in
wasn't it?
his career. In like 190
Oh, yeah, that was
something
cool.
games played, he's never eclipsed 100 yards.
Wow.
My man
Of
had
course, it had
himself
to be
a
on the
career
Saints.
game today.
Mhm.
But I mean, he was out there gashing us, man. And another thing is, dude, is like, I tweeted earlier too, and I'm saying now, man, is like the word generational gets thrown around quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like in
Brock
today's
Bowers
society, but
is
Brock Bowers,
generational.
Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, without question, man. What a talent, dude. I mean, I could sit here all day and just keep going on and on, but just watching him today was, I mean, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy, dude. I think it's kind of insane, actually, how much he can do from wherever they line him up on the field. Remember, me and Alex actually watched a good portion of the game today together in the party, and I think the one thing that I noticed, we both watched the play together. There I think it's towards the end of the third quarter where they handed that jet sweep to Brock Bowers out of the offset tight end position. There it was hilarious as Demario Davis chased him down, in his aging state. But even still, I think it was just the balls to even think about it. And I think any less aware linebacker, he's definitely making that edge, for quite a good gain there.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I said,
Fantastic
even
hands.
then, it's like how many fucking teams are doing a jet sweep to their tight end of all people,
Yeah,
and
no, dude.
it's not the first time the Raiders have done this season. This was maybe, I'd say they've done it a handful of times this season, and
Mm.
it's just goes to show how dynamic Brock Bowers is, as a tight end. And it's weird watching him play because he doesn't look like anything crazy when he's out there, But he understands his leverages. He understands the concepts. He understands the spacing, and he just finds a way to get open. It's truly crazy to see. Like he's breaking all these records with a revolving door at quarterback. Who knows how his season would have gone if we would have had a competent quarterback all season, and competent OC play. Because, while Scott Turner, the new OC that we picked up, has been better compared to Luke Getsy.
Yeah, I'd agree, dude.
I think today was our first game that we have scored more than 20 points this season.
30 point. Yeah. What was the final score that I've had to take a
25
nap
to
there.
10.
25-10.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that was the first time our offense has scored more than 20 points. So it's like yes, our offense has looked better. Yes, it's been more productive. Yes, we are getting these sustained drives. You saw today how it go
Chopping it up, man.
And then we don't do shit with it. It just ends up with another field goal, and it's Daniel Carson getting another kick. And it's a struggle. Obviously, did a little bit better today, but
O'Connell was slanging that thing, man. And this is my, and I'll ask this question now. Jesus, my headphones are falling off. I don't have hair back there anymore. So as we know today, you guys winning, even with us losing, there wasn't a very large shakeup in the draft order.
We lost to y'all and still fucking are at number 10, and y'all are what, 8, 7, somewhere in there.
I think we dropped 8 or 9.
So here's a question. With what you have now, like, do you think that giving up the assets? Bless you.
Oh shit!
Bless you again. Yeah, we got manners on this podcast at least. Anyway, but like I was saying though, do you think that the Raiders are going to be willing to give up the assets that they need to get up to draft a quarterback top 3 pick? Or do you think that with the way that maybe Aiden O'Connell's developed, maybe a new coach coming in, do you think that maybe they don't wind up taking a quarterback in any world in this situation? Or do you think that they're giving up everything possible to get a pick in that, top 3?
I think they make an attempt to get a quarterback, but it all just goes back to how they truly feel about Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. Will they make the attempt to move up? I think so. They've tried to make the attempts the last 2 seasons.
Sure.
They just haven't been able to fucking do it, That it takes 2 to tango, and you can't just trade with one team. The other team has to accept the offer for it to go through. So it's like no fault on the Raiders for not attempting. They tried, but you saw how highly regarded the draft class of quarterbacks was, the past 2 seasons. Especially last year, because you had Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels,
the whole 9. Yeah, the apparently the shootout club, because these boys are bringing the heat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
They're a
it's
lot
I
better
don't
than
I
people
can't.
thought they would be.
Yeah,
Mhm.
man. And I think I think even well, I won't say Caleb Williams is being dealt a unfair hand. I think that he needs to definitely take some time to adjust and kind of get used to the pace of the NFL and
Yeah, he needs to stop trying
kind
to
of
play
stop
hero ball.
playing.
That's his
That's
problem.
exactly what I was about to say. Kind of realize he needs to. He's so trigger happy in the pocket. You know what I mean? Like his first instinct is to roll out, roll back out, roll, but not ever gonna work.
So like he has an
We
easy
were,
read. He's like, nah, let me wait for something bigger.
yeah, man. I think Jameis had a lot of the same issues too when he first came in the NFL. So hard on him, man. Could be kind of a rough ride, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, this last class of rookies was it was pretty incredible. The hit rate, I will have to say. So yeah, no reason to think that some of the ones coming out, in this year's class wouldn't be, pretty susceptible. But I think that the real look forward is going to be that in that following class. Was that 26? I think it is.
Arch Manning. You
Yeah,
have
it's gonna be
who else?
insanely. It's gonna be. I mean, dude,
Nussmeyer.
Arch Manning, Nussmeier, possibly,
Nico, maybe.
Oh yeah,
possibly
Nika.
Nico, possibly. You got that Kyle McCord kid out of Syracuse. You got. I mean, there's gonna
There's
be
that
quite a.
dude from Penn State too.
Yeah, dude. Uh, Kyle, or is it Drew something? Aller. Ah, God, I have to look it back up, dude. I was just watching some highlights the other day in film, but um, hmm, yeah, dude, it's gonna be a deep class there, man. So I think if
Mm-hmm.
people, there could be some teams. I think that in some of these later picks that 8 through 10, maybe that are shooting to get up, maybe don't get it. Maybe you roll with the guy you got and see if you know, if maybe next year going 4 and whatever actually nets you the third overall pick or something instead of picking 11th. You
See,
know what I mean? Like,
that's the shitty thing because like that's exactly where. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong for the Saints, but I think both of our franchises are kind of in the same spot. It's all like
100%.
both need quarterbacks. Will they take a quarterback this year? Who knows? Probably.
No, hell no, not in our
Not
case.
for the
Yeah.
Saints. No, for the Raiders, yes, it's obviously talked about. But now that we've
It is on the table.
dropped out of 1 and 2, if Tom Telesco stays on board in management, he took Brock Bowers. He fucking shocked everyone in the draft board because everyone was like, "Oh, we're gonna get a guard. Oh, we're gonna get a tackle. We're gonna get another defensive end or a corner." That's who everyone thought we were gonna get. We didn't get a single one of them motherfuckers. We got Brock motherfucking Bowers. Not complaining because again, he is a generational fucking player, and we have seen this season. And like I knew he was good coming
Wow.
out of college, but I didn't expect him to be this good. Like he makes it look fucking easy. You
It's
know,
insane, dude.
so if they do decide, all right, we'll wait for another year. We'll ride it out with AOC, and then we'll just go BPA. If they do get Travis Hunter, they do get Territoria McMillan, however the fuck you say,
Territory.
yeah, however the hell you say his
I think
name.
he'll
No
be in that
idea.
range. I know that boy Hunter probably gonna go in the first 4 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. I have him
So
going
it's
top
like,
three for sure.
so if they get one of those kind of players instead, I'm not upset.
Yeah, I
Like,
could feel that.
yes, it is a little frustrating because obviously it's going to be another year where we're not going to be really playing for
Anything meaningful.
anything meaningful, and
Yeah.
it's a dual-edged sword because as everyone on Raiders media has been talking about, because as you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but Crosby, he has his own podcast called The Rush podcast. So he was talking about Myles Garrett and his situation, and he's all like, "Hey, I feel for him. You know, it's like I ain't got no guaranteed money after this season. I want to win. I get the frustration that Myles Garrett gets. So you know, half of the media is all like, oh, Crosby wants out. He wants out. Blah blah blah. And then the other people are like, hey, he's just stating he don't got guaranteed money. But you know, it's like players get frustrated losing no matter how
Yeah,
much
it's human.
no matter how
Everybody
loyal
wants to win.
no matter how loyal you are to your fucking team, you
These are
want,
super athletes, dude.
especially with
That
the
are
amount, yeah.
that are bred competitors. I always love the. I don't mean to interrupt you. I just think of the story. You know, I've listened to a lot of podcasts, dude. But there's one where Two Bears One Cave, Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura. They went. Bert Kreischer did the beer Olympics with uh what is that? What Taylor Lewin and them's podcast, dude.
On
Like
Bussin'
busting
with
with
the
the boys.
Boys.
Yes, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So you know they did like a beer Olympics, dude, and of course you know they invite all their buddies, dude, who are NFL players, dude. And Bert Kreischer tells a story of like I think it's DeForest Buckner is like before they started like sitting on the couch chit chatting. He like calls his wife,
Excuse me.
you know, and like she, you know, they're chit chatting back and forth, and like he said the conversation would have like it's not the conversation that I had with my wife. You know, it's like we're competing for a beer Olympics trophy, and she's over there like you bring this fucking trophy home. You know what I mean? Like, like these
Competitive.
are ultra competitors that most of them also married athletes who are ultra competitive people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like win, win, win. So like, yeah, man, that completely makes sense, dude. Like that's just within their personality to, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna dive in.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to. It's
Dive
hard to
on
find
in.
people that are gonna dive on in. It's hard to find people that are gonna, you know, that choose loyalty to a franchise over their chance to win it all, man.
Mm-hmm. Like unless they make them Max Crosby the highest fucking paid defensive
Defensive
end,
player.
you know,
Oh,
then
yeah.
Got to make it
then
worth their while to stay. That's what it ends up being.
you know, but
Yeah, that's hard to do if you're really going through a
And
rebuild,
well, as I
man.
say, especially when you're not winning, so
If you're
yeah.
not winning
we
and you're
know how it
truly trying to
goes.
rebuild a team, man, you
Hmm
can't.
Mm-hmm.
You
Why it's
can't.
always weird to hear fucking Alvin Kamara be like, "Yeah, I want to die in New Orleans." Like, nigga,
That's rare. It's
But
rare to
it
find
was
players
that's
that
yeah.
stay loyal, especially in today's world. You know, especially with the transfer portal.
Oh, but we're seeing everything going on right now in
Mm-hmm.
college football. Like, a freshman that comes in that was a 4 star that didn't they feel they didn't play enough. It's like you came in as a 4 star with you were the fifth stringer on the fucking team and you want to transfer. It's like you have to wait that's what I hate about these new kids. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I didn't play enough this year." It's like
They
you
just
do
want to
realize
leave.
there's you got to fucking pay your dues. You got to get in line, you know what I'm saying? Like
mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
hating this whole transfer
Agreed.
portal because like we're having that shit right now where it's like all these like depth players are leaving because they're like, oh, well, I didn't play as much as I thought I was this year. And it's like, well, next year is your year. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate the whole.
Well, it's
Hey,
like I said, man. If they would bring back the rule of if you transfer, you lose 1 year of eligibility. You know, whatever for whatever reason it may be, kids are going to start making more educated decisions. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? Like they're going to start
Mm-hmm.
sticking with those choices at least for, if not the year or two long. You know what I mean? Like the thing about college football and the weird thing about college football and the transfer portal doing happening the way it
NIL
is,
money.
yeah, there's no development league for these kids. You know what I mean? So like if their plan is to go to the next level, but you're doing all this transferring back and forth and here and there, some people maybe that's experience, maybe it's development, I guess you could call it. But at the end of the day,
I mean,
it,
John Gruden,
go ahead.
John Gruden himself, he fucking talked about this with Will Compton and Taylor Lewan on Bussin' with the Boys. You know, I mean, he was an NFL coach within the last 5 years. You know, so it's like I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure a lot of other NFL coaches share the same sentiment as he does. You know, and what he said was when I was when I was scouting players from college for my team, I told all of my scouts to not look for any players that transferred to schools. He wanted players that stayed at a program and fought through the
Committed.
adversity. Yeah, and
That
fought
bought
through
in.
yeah, fought through the adversity to work your way up and
Yep.
the claw. And so it's like if John Gruden is saying this, a lot of the NFL coaches are, the older school mindset. Yes, we do have our younger head coaches that are coming in, but still, they're what? What's the youngest coach in the NFL? 44, 45 maybe?
No, yeah,
39,
somewhere in
I
the
think, dude.
30s.
40, maybe. Sean McVay, I think, maybe it is, or
Shit, Mike
Let me
McDaniel's a young
see.
guy still.
yeah, one of these
Who's
guys,
the?
dude.
Oh shit!
They're insanely young,
LaFleur
these
is
dudes,
young.
but yeah,
Who's the youngest NFL coach?
gotta be one of those guys, man. Maybe it's Mike McDaniels, like 30 something, I think.
Miami, yeah, McDaniel's young too. That's what I said
Who's
already.
the youngest NFL coach?
Look at Siri letting you down.
For
Sean McVay is the youngest NFL coach in modern NFL history.
Mm-mm-mm.
Hired by the Los Angeles Rams.
But,
Did I see that?
at 30.
At 30?
30.
What the
No,
fuck?
there's
That
no
can't
way.
be right.
There's
not-
no
he's
way,
not-
dude.
he's
I'm
not-
like, come on, bro.
But how old is he?
At 30? I was like, dude,
He's
come on,
barely
man.
fucking
Come
2
on,
years older
man.
than me. He's 38.
Yeah, I was like, I'm 30. Shit.
Okay,
38.
okay.
Yeah, dude.
Still, I mean,
Oof, Lord, I mean, that's still pretty young, but I mean, jeez Louise, dude, that's crazy. I
still
was about
young.
to say 30 would have you flabbergasted,
That
bro. I
is
promise
crazy.
you. I promise you we're in this podcast right now if you had told me he's 30 years old.
30. I'm done. I'm done.
I'm exiting. Done.
Fuck this shit.
That's over. Been a good one, boys.
Not
See y'all
doing a
next
good
week.
enough job. Mm-mm.
Where did I go wrong?
Right.
Oh, man. No, dude. Nah, man, this transfer portal, it has been crazy, dude. And even as like a team that has benefited from it this cycle especially is still bananas, man. They got to do something to reel it in, dude. Same thing with NIL. Something's got to be done about it. They got to
Well,
cap
that's
this.
a lot of
and-
reason that these kids be transferring to. Is just like,
No,
or they'll
it's
put themselves in
NIL
the
money.
transfer portal just to try to negotiate to get more NIL money, and then they'll
Mhm.
like after they get what they want, they'll re-pull their names from the transfer portal. So, I already saw it done earlier this week. So,
But yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. They got to put a
something's
cap
gotta
on it
change.
in some
Something's
way,
gotta
dude.
give.
It's gonna be insane. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
and also, like I said too, I also feel like maybe something that'll change. It'll be these kids will start figuring out, a little more about taxes, things like that. Start transferring to states that don't do a lot of, taxes in
Oh
the
yeah.
state or
Mhm.
in the government. Like, hey, now, you know what I mean? Like we are losing some money,
Mhm.
and that could really change their situation as far as the way they handle it. But yeah, we have yet to see, man. I think it's still a bit rough out there. But I mean, it's gonna be rough, dude. It's gonna be rough all the way around, especially for that's how I feel about the Saints as well. I mean, the whole team is bad, dude.
Yeah,
I think the
from,
difference is between that up and down is like the Raiders. A lot of the Raiders players on defense, some of your guys are a lot younger. You know what I mean? Like, and not to say that we don't have young guys. It's just that I don't see some of the same promise. You know what I mean? Like, and even some of the guys that you picked up off of free agency, offense and defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were sitting there talking about him too. Like, we saw today, Terrence Marshall made a pretty good play somewhere in the game. You know what I mean? Guy that didn't really get a lot of shine there just because he had set behind in college. Got to the Panthers, real bad situation. Ended up on the Raiders. Hey, man, he could be looking up here the next couple of years or two. You know what I mean? Like you draft a young quarterback, I think could be a good steady pair of hands. We were also talking about Clavon Chasson, edge rusher. Thank God they're not asking him to drop back in coverage all the time. Definitely making a difference. So, I think the difference is that there's somebody in the Raiders office is at least thinking future wise. You know what I mean?
Their
Like
boy
even when
Tom
they're going
Telesco.
free agents. Yeah, I mean, I have to imagine so, man. We paid a lot of money for Chase Young to do absolutely dick this year. There were so many plays, dude, that me and Keith sat around and watched. We could point fingers. You can stop it. You can run it full speed, half speed, 0.5, half. He's jogging, man. You're jogging to the play. And there's times when it was game changing early in the season, man, where we're expecting to stop out of the defense, third and long, third and this. he's
Giving up
halfway
third
to the
and
sideline.
17s and
Yeah,
shit.
give and it starts in the trenches, man. And some of that's, of course, I'm not always gonna say it's a team sport, but defensive end wise, man, like there's too many plays where we watched him close down and tackle and pull up, man, and just
Hey
whoa,
man,
slow down, whoa,
one thing I'll
Let's
even
get a
say, just on
Cam
business
that,
Newton.
decision.
harping on
Cam
that
Newton.
point,
He's on a 1-year deal, man. He's on business decision time. You know what I
fuck
mean?
all that. But I'm just like thinking, even the fact that the Saints chose motherfucking Marcus Davenport over Trey
Woo,
Hendrickson all them years ago,
woo.
bro.
Well,
And
yeah.
and now here we are all these years later, and Trey Hendrickson is about to get paid for another deal. You know what I'm saying? Make all this extra money, and Marcus Davenport is still trying to find a fucking a home in the league, or if he's still even on Minnesota. Who fucking knows? My point being, this ain't fucked up. So
Oh, I mean, they're about to do
yeah,
the same thing with Peyton Turner, man. He's about to be out of here too, sadly enough. But I think that he's probably difference between him and Marcus Davenport is I've seen flashes from Peyton Turner where I'm like, damn, he
yeah, I
actually
agree
could be
there.
pretty
I
good.
agree there.
You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, he could actually have something. And it's gonna suck because I get the feeling that he's probably gonna go to a different team and it's gonna be the Zach Bond effect. You know what I mean? You're gonna be like, Jesus, could he be all pro or some shit? Like,
Mm-hmm.
here we go again.
Yep.
Um, and today could have been Cam Jordan's last day in the Saints jersey, man.
Shit, and Demario Davis.
In the
Shit,
Dame,
let's not.
Demario Davis too. And
Well,
like we
not
were saying
necessarily. They'll
earlier,
play next week, and they'll play next week in a
well,
Saints jersey,
not in the
but
jersey,
at
but
home, I get what
At
you
at
mean.
home,
home.
in the dome. I think is what I think I might have said it, but I mean, and at the dome in general. And it's sad to see, but all good things must come to an end, especially when they're not,
Always,
not when especially not when they're floating the boat, when they're not floating the boat the way they should be.
boy, when
You know what I mean?
when the boat's starting to sink and let in water, yeah, it's time to start to let that motherfucker drown and let it go.
Just
So
overboard,
Like the Go Mary.
overboard.
and hey,
Yes, they are the going Mary of the
I'm about to
Saints
say,
organization, dude.
yeah, right now that boy, that boy
That
Mickey Loomis want to ride that motherfucker down to the bottom
boy
of the
Mickey
sea.
Loomis is Usopp like a
That's
motherfucker,
Usopp
boy. He
right
will
there.
not
Yeah.
watch it go down. It
and
is.
and Miss Gail Benson out here like Luffy, like we
You
getting a new
bitch.
boat.
We need a new boat.
So either you can get on it with us, or I'm gonna whoop your ass, and you can stay here where it's gonna be.
Oh, Gail D. Benson out there, son, ready to give him hell. No, it's a rough spot, man. But I think that's probably the major difference, dudes. I just see more advanced. I won't say advanced, but I just see some kind of, direction towards the future with the Raiders, where the Saints are kind of treading water. You know what I mean? Like the Raiders have, I won't say taken care to kind of build an offense, but in the sense that there's still a few pieces away, but these are things you can correct kind of in the upcoming draft. You know what I mean? You know where you stand now as far as what you're going to be able to use that 2nd through 7th round pick on.
Shit, even the first one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, well, if you go out there and get a quarterback, dude, I think now it's whatever quarterback you get, the safety blanket that he has with Brock Bowers it's invaluable. You know what I mean? Like
You
that's
got
something
him and
that you won't be
Jacoby.
able to. Well, absolutely too. That's what I'm. You Jacoby Myers is another good example of a guy that's like he's still a wily vet in the sense that he's still got some good juice in him, a few good years left. That other Trey Tucker was his name.
See, he's a young kid.
Yep. That's another guy you want to bring back, man. So like right there, you got three guys where if you're looking at a young quarterback coming in, I think that you feel comfortable. I'm not saying that's your total wide receiving core, but maybe even double back in that 2nd or 3rd round, grab another guy,
or
add
pick
that
up
along with a
dude in the
Terrence
free
Marshall.
agency.
Yeah, add that with a Terrence Marshall, pick up another guy in a free agency, and before you know it, you're looking at a wide receiver core that's youthful, got a veteran to lead the locker room. You've got a talent, that's a multi-positional, a Swiss Army knife kind of guy and a Brock Bowers, dude.
And then right behind
you
him,
know,
you have Michael Mayer, who's a
You got
stud in
Michael
himself.
Mayer directly, and I think the other thing is too is that you got a lot of these guys who are on rookie contracts. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas we're not in that boat, man. Like, we're still digging out of a cap situation that we're, that some of the players that are on the field right now have contributed to. Some of them probably, are going to contribute to for 2 or 3 more years and won't even see the field. Are probably going to retire this year, or not going to meaningfully or willingly, or, give that kind of production that you need from somebody that demands that kind of contract. So, there's going to be some stark differences, man. I think that, the AFC West in the upcoming few, I'd say 3 to 4 years, is going to be a slaughterhouse, depending on who the quarterback the Raiders draft and if they really are moving in the kind of general direction that we see a little bit. You know what I mean? Like if Tom
Yeah,
Telesco is
they
really
trend
moving like
upwards.
that,
Yeah,
yeah, you know what I mean? Like it really could be crazy, man, because obviously Sean Payton has Denver moving in the right direction. Um, the Chargers looking like they're swinging
Harbaugh's
back
doing a
up.
good job.
I mean, clearly the Chiefs are,
The Chiefs.
F them. They're the
yeah.
Chiefs. Got to live with them. But that could be a wild division if the Raiders continue to build upon this little, this little foothold. I think that they have, right here, especially after watching today's game, man. I think I've watched a few games this season. I watched a few games early with the Luke Getsy offense. I watched a couple towards the middle of the season when everything was in transition period. And then now, we watched a couple. I've watched a few more games here towards the end of the season, especially the Saints game, kind of more in depth. But there's a shot there for them to do some things, and Lord knows,
Yeah.
man,
There's some
it's
pieces to build on, and from a Raiders fan watching, the Saints, because obviously I've watched games for the Saints throughout the season, but it's more, not really paying like too much into depth or into detail about what they're doing, player personnel and all that shit. But I mean, watching Spencer Rattler today, I'm not saying you bank on him, saying he's your franchise guy, but he definitely has shown glimpses that he can be capable of being that guy. Like, yes, the game finished the way it did, but you can't blame. For me personally, I can't say you can blame the game on Spencer Rattler. He put the ball in position for his receivers, for his tight ends, for his running backs to catch the ball, and these motherfuckers.
Lord deliver me from Jawan Johnson.
These motherfuckers were
Jesus
hanging out
Christ.
with Brucey
that
before the
dude.
game.
Oh my God, dude! I was about to say, I just start cheating, man. Put Stickum on the hands. That's all I was about to ask for at some
Deadass.
point. It was getting to the point, dude, where I couldn't
Ref got us tear the ball
I
out away from their
couldn't,
fingers after the play.
man. Everybody, the only person that kept catching balls consistently was Edwards Hilaire, and even there towards the end, dude, it was just still the same thing, man. A few drops, but man,
And I keep hating everybody on these biased ass Saints fan that just want to see Spencer fail because they're Derek Carr fans or whatever the case may be. But they're like, oh, look how bad he's played and he's 0-5. And I'm like, give the kid some fucking grace, man. He's had a
yeah.
shit offensive line. He has no fucking weapons. You think Derek Carr's winning this game? Because he
Nah,
ain't.
man,
Like,
but I think that, the crazy thing is like a lot of the fan base is like caught up in this idea that like there's some kind of instant gratification, or there should be some kind of instant gratification with, with the quarterback situation, because we've seen it happen throughout the league with other teams, drafting Patrick Mahomes,
CJ Stroud,
Josh Allen,
Jaden
C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, all the
Drake
quarterbacks
May.
right now that are on their way to the playoffs,
I mean, he's
or at
not,
least
but
having
yeah.
some, it's fans think there should be some kind of that's a wild shout, but he is doing well. But even even Baker Mayfield, I think that a lot of the fans are like they expect some kind of instant gratification from some of these signings of quarterbacks, whether they be rookies coming in. You know what I mean? And they shouldn't. There's unrealistic expectations that surround a lot of these guys that are coming in. And especially from Saints fan, because in the past, at this point, 25 years, our quarterback history over that was such You know what I mean? Like it was so dense.
You don't even have a fucking an actual head
And then
coach.
no, I mean we don't. You know what I mean? Like it's still interim, and I think today was another reason. You know, all the penalties, the holding, the false starts, all the penalties that kept negating all the good things that Spencer Rattler did, dude, because he made some crazy throws. People either dropped him, they got negated by holding calls. You know what I mean? Like I think he'd have had 70, 80. I mean, he'd have had a crazy amount of extra yardage if they'd have just
Got the
wouldn't have
damn
held.
ball.
You know what I mean? Or caught the damn ball. Yeah, dude. So,
Well,
and to be fair,
those holding calls were pretty brutal.
I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. But that's all. It's just undisciplined shit, man. And it's stuff that, you know, when you have a true head coach that understands the game, these are things that they don't plague good teams. They don't plague teams that are even average at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, these are things you see with bad teams that are ran with from bad coaches. And when it comes to the Saints, it's from all the top to bottom, from a bad front office to bad coaches to even bad players at this point. You know what I mean? I hate to say it. We just got bad players. We got old players, man. You know what I mean? Like we have no youthful outlook on our roster. You know what I'm talking about? So like it's gonna be rough, man. I think a lot of fans just need to go ahead and buy into that idea that like until we see change in the front office, we all know Mickey Loomis, you know what I mean? As soon when he's gone, if and it's gonna be with this coaching hire cycle. If he doesn't get this next one right, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? Like he's done, bro. Um,
I agree.
it's gonna be, you know, just get ready for a shitty season next season, man. If they're smart, we
Yeah,
roll with
it's gonna be
Rattler. But
real
I can almost
not fun.
guarantee you the reason why he wants to bring in Aaron Glenn is because he can convince Aaron
He wants a
Glenn
yes man.
to roll with Derek Carr. You know what I mean? Like Aaron Glenn's gonna be okay with rolling with Derek Carr. They're gonna bring him back, maybe even restructure the contract to keep him around for another year or two. Try to get some of that money off the books. That's just, you know, I mean, that's the way Mickey operates, man. It's
You're not wrong. I don't
it's it's
disagree with
it's definitely about to get darker before it gets any brighter. I promise you that right now. And that's why I think not to say that Aaron Glenn is going to is a bad head coach or a bad head coaching candidate, but in the sense that if he comes to somewhere like New Orleans, it's not going to be good for this franchise, man. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be good for Aaron Glenn. It's not going to be good for the New Orleans Saints. It's not going to be good for anybody, man. Derek Carr is going to end his career in the same manner that it's been for the last 12 years, man. Very
Mediocrity.
mediocre. Yeah, man. Like you gonna win just enough games to keep the dude behind you from taking your job, and just enough games to keep the team that you're playing for from really drafting your replacement. But never really make the playoffs. You know what I mean? Unless you have some kind of super special run. You know, a lot of young guys on defense start showing up. A couple
Or
young
you
guys on offense.
or you
Maybe you
need that
drafted,
team to lose and this team to win and that team to win and this
and then
Now
team to
all
that's
of a
the
sudden
Saints
you make
specialty
the
right there.
and you make the wild card. Yeah, so you know that's kind of what they're in. But Mickey Loomis is okay with that, man, because that suspense does kind of sell to some of these fans a large portion. You know what I mean? Like
as long as we got a chance.
Those Ralph Marlboros, and you know I did see Jeff Duncan was over there bashing some of the guys in the front office, which was very surprising. But you know maybe if they've lost him, maybe we might not be so far out.
Mm-mm-mm.
Um, but yeah, man. We're gonna see, man. It's gonna be a rough season ahead for us as Saints fan, man. So lock in. You know,
Yeah, our
if you're really
season will
about
be
it, just
interesting for both
keep
franchises.
watch. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, and this is my thing. As fans, you know, you have every right, and I understand. Here's the thing about it, because I want to go. You know what I mean? I need to go to the dome, see a game, that kind of thing. It's a good
Oh
experience
yeah,
with the
definitely.
family. You know what I mean? You want to have games are gonna be cheap coming up. You know what I mean? So like it's gonna be all more incentive to go. But at the same time, I think as fans, at some point we have to realize that collectively the only way for us to speak or to get anybody to realize that, you know, higher than the head coach or even higher than Mickey Loomis, that something is really, you know, afoot. Hey man, you gotta show them with your wallet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta start
You
That's
flipping
gotta
the
show them what
crazy.
your
dollars.
wallet. Yep, gear, tickets, and TV time, same thing. And I mean, it sounds crazy, but you know, watching through Schmiegel means, you know what I mean? I'll say it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't do that. Crazy. I'm just saying, don't do that. No, sir. Backlisted. Excuse me. A little under the weather. But yeah, man, it's going to be some important times coming up in this off season for both teams. So we're going to get to see how they move. And like I said, it's going to be
Especially
as
with this
both
coaching
teams.
hire.
Exactly. For both teams too. That's what's crazy, man. Is like both teams are, kind of the Raiders maybe not, but I
They
think more than likely Antonio Pierce doesn't make it. I think they go new coach, quarterback,
unless they fucking
new era.
put the smackdown on the Chargers like they did last year, Antonio Pierce is gone.
I'd agree with that.
But then again, I am making a podcast from my room, not in the NFL front office.
It's not from the ESPN studios either. Like, yeah, no, I get you. But yeah, nah, dude. I mean, but so it's just I think it's very uncanny. But it's really good for us, as the Satyrs sanctuary, as fans that we are to kind of be in that same row in that same boat, as teams here. Maybe both looking into a head coaching search. Well, definitely one of us, but could be both of us looking into the head coaching search. Both of us possibly looking at these top 10 picks. Which direction are these teams heading? New quarterback. Are the Saints going to stick with the Raiders leftovers? You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a lot of questions to be answered here in about 2 or 3 weeks, man. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a really good time. I'm excited.
It'll be intriguing to see how things develop for sure for both sides. We're out here rowing the boats, hoping for the fucking best.
Yep, definitely.
With no map where the
Pull.
fuck we're going.
Pull, boys. We got to pull. But
That was
anybody?
that was me and Tori when our fucking battery died.
Oh my god, dude! Did you hear about? Did we ever tell you about that, dude? So me and Alex, you know how it is. We go fishing in the summer every fucking weekend. So we're out there on the boat fishing one day, dude, and this is before we had the motor that I'm pretty sure read
The battery
the battery charge or whatever, dude. And man, we were out there having a good old day, dude. We caught some fish. We were having a good time. And between either one of us, we didn't even bother to think about the fact that, is this thing charged?
Is it gonna last?
Dude, we were out there for a few hours, probably like 5 or 6. So, we got out there at, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. It's about 1:30. Max is like, all right, man, it's hot. Let's move to some shade, dude. And I was like, all right, cool. Pop the handle. Nothing. I was like, let me check the battery. So I turn it off. So unscrew it, dude. Unscrew it. Rescrew it back on. Flip it. Nothing. I turn around. Alex is looking back, dude. I was like, take my shades off. Said, battery's dead. Dude, we look across the lake. And when I tell you across Quincy Reservoir, bro, we're on the opposite fucking side. We have 2 emergency paddles, my nigga. Them bitches are like 18 inches long, dude.
You're fucked up.
And they're tiny little screw together paddles, bro. And like from where we're sitting, dude, all we could do, it took everything in us to row. I mean, it had to be, I don't know, 600 yards across this lake, dude. In the middle of July at 1:30 in the afternoon, bro. It was diabolical, nigga. I was like, it was some ancestral shit if I had ever been in it in my life, bro. I even told Alex, too, I was like, this is what my ancestors had to go through. I understand why they jumped in the ocean. Like, bro, it was...
I would have been there with
If somebody would have told me we had 4 more months of that shit right there, bro, I'm wrapping it up, bro. Christmas present, like, I promise you.
Something eat me,
I ain't
please.
doing it. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it, bro. It was the worst. It was the absolute worst.
Yeah, that
That's
shit
funny.
fucking
Oh,
sucked.
it was terrible, man. Well, that'll wrap it up.
Yep.
All right,
That's
man.
it.
Well,
That's
listen.
good for me.
Anybody else? Keith?
I don't got nothing.
Wrapped up. All right. Well, from us to you, the Party Chat Podcast, to everybody and nobody at all, trademarks Party Chat Podcast. We urge you to join us on any of our other streams under our little umbrella. Saturdays, game nights, Fridays, side by side, Sundays. We do this. Tomorrow we're going to talk about some anime. It's always a good time. Like, subscribe, share, follow along, all that stuff. From us to you. Peace. Korean little finger hearts.
Catch you next time.
Bye bye.